Maya stood alone on the subway platform at 11:47 p.m. on New Year's Eve. The platform was completely empty, which felt wrong for tonight of all nights. Above ground, she could hear distant fireworks and celebration. But down here, there was only the buzz of flickering fluorescent lights and an unnatural cold that made her breath visible in the air. She checked her phone, no signal. The digital display blinked. Last train, 11:52 p.m. She wrapped her coat tighter around her party dress, regretting not taking an Uber. That's when she heard a distant rumble from deep in the tunnel. A single headlight appeared, but it flickered like a dying flame. The screech of metal on metal grew impossibly loud, echoing unnaturally through the station. Maya covered her ears as the train emerged from the darkness. The train looked ancient, covered in rust and grime, its windows fogged from the inside. It shouldn't be running. It looked like something from decades ago, pulled from a museum or a junkyard. The doors hissed open with a sound like a dying breath, revealing a dimly lit interior with empty seats stretching into shadows. Maya hesitated. "Hello?" she called out. No response. Her phone showed 11:51 p.m., 1 minute until midnight, 1 minute until New Year. She stepped inside. The doors slammed shut behind her with violent force, making her jump. She was alone in the car. The lights flickered overhead, revealing torn upholstery on old seats, stained with things she didn't want to identify. A smell of decay hung thick in the air. The train lurched forward, accelerating too quickly, and Maya grabbed a pole for support. "What the hell?" she muttered. She looked out the window, expecting to see tunnel walls rushing past, but there was only darkness. Complete, absolute darkness, like staring into a void. Then she saw a reflection in the window that wasn't hers. A woman in an old-fashioned dress stood behind her in the reflection. Pale skin, completely unmoving. Her eyes were black voids. Maya spun around, nobody there. She looked back at the window. The woman was closer now in the reflection, right behind her shoulder. "This isn't real. This isn't," Maya whispered, panic rising in her throat. Then something hit the ceiling above her head. Bang. Then another. Bang, bang, like footsteps, running multiple sets. From one end of the car to the other, racing across the roof. Maya backed toward the door between cars, her eyes darting upward, following the sounds. The lights went out completely. Darkness swallowed her. In the silence, she heard whispers, multiple voices overlapping, coming from everywhere and nowhere. "We never left. We never left. We never left." Emergency lights flickered on, bathing everything in blood red. Maya's scream caught in her throat. The car was now filled with figures, standing in every aisle, sitting in every seat. Dozens of them, all identical, the same pale woman from the reflection, duplicated over and over. Their heads tilted in unison, facing her. Maya ran. She burst through the door into the next car and stopped dead. This car was older, Victorian era. Gas lamps flickered on ornate walls. The seats were wooden benches. In the center sat a little girl, maybe 8 years old, facing away from Maya, humming Auld Lang Syne in a broken, off-key melody. "Little girl, are you okay?" Maya approached cautiously. The humming stopped. The girl's head began to turn 180 degrees, crack, 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 her body still facing forward. When Maya saw the face, she gasped. It was rotted, eyes missing from their sockets, mouth sewn shut with thick black thread. The girl stood, her body contorting, joints bending in ways that were wrong, impossible. She began moving toward Maya, but her feet didn't touch the ground. She was gliding, hovering, hovering. Maya scrambled backward, crashing through another door into the next car. This one was even older, primitive, wooden, lit only by candles. The year 1923 was carved deep into the wood panels. Bodies lined the seats, dozens of them, passengers from different decades, flappers in beaded dresses, businessmen in 1950s suits, punks with mohawks from the 1980s, all dead, eyes open and staring at nothing. At the far end of the car stood a conductor. He was impossibly tall and thin, wearing a rotted uniform that hung off his skeletal frame. His face was a skull with dried, leathery skin stretched tight over the bones. He held a pocket watch in his bony fingers. "Ticket," he said, his voice like metal grinding against metal. Maya's voice shook. I don't." The conductor opened the pocket watch. Its hands were spinning backward, rapidly. 11:59:58. All around Maya, the dead passengers' heads turned toward Hall at once, with synchronized clicks of vertebrae. "When it strikes midnight, we collect our passenger," the conductor said. "We've been waiting so long." The train screeched, and Maya looked out the window. Faces were pressed against the glass from outside, hundreds of them, screaming silently, clawing at the windows with broken fingernails. "Let me off. Stop this train," Maya screamed. The conductor shook his head slowly. "The last train doesn't stop, it only collects." He pointed at the window. Maya looked at her reflection, and her blood turned to ice. Her reflection showed her as one of them, pale skin, dead eyes, mouth hanging open in a silent scream. "You've been here before," the conductor said, his voice almost gentle now. "Every New Year's Eve, you never remember, but you always return." Maya looked down at her hands. They were becoming transparent, fading. 5, 4, 3. The conductor counted down. "No, I'm alive." Maya tried to scream. 2, 1. In the distance, fireworks exploded. Celebration, joy, life. The conductor smiled, his skull face splitting wider. "Happy New Year, Maya." The train doors opened at a crowded station. It was midnight. The platform was packed with New Year's revelers, laughing, celebrating, drunk with happiness, alive. The train was modern now, clean and bright, completely normal. Passengers boarded, chatting excitedly about their nights, making resolutions, kissing loved ones. In the corner of one car, completely unnoticed, Maya sat alone, staring at nothing. Her skin was pale as chalk. Her eyes were empty black voids. She began humming Auld Lang Syne in a broken, off-key melody. A young woman in her mid-20s boarded the train, checking her phone, smiling at a text message. She sat across from Maya but didn't look up, lost in her own world. The doors closed with a normal hiss. The train entered the tunnel, heading to the next station. Maya's head slowly, mechanically turned toward the young woman. The lights flickered once. Maya smiled, her mouth sewn shut with thick black thread, the stitches fresh and bleeding. The young woman finally looked up from her phone. She glanced at Maya, but her eyes seemed to slide right past her, seeing nothing unusual. She went back to texting, humming along to music in her earbuds. The train rumbled on into the darkness. Outside, somewhere above ground, people celebrated the new year. But down in the tunnels, the last train collected its passengers, one by one, year after year, forever riding through the darkness beneath the city. On the platform they'd left behind, a digital display flickered and changed. Last train, 11:52 p.m. to New Year's Eve 2026. The station fell silent again, empty, waiting, always waiting for the next one who would step aboard. Because the last train on New Year's Eve never truly ends its route. It just keeps collecting, forever.